This is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. Just arrived in Seoul, South Korea, and today's episode is how to be raw, eat organic foods, eat your fresh fruits and vegetables when you're traveling. Now, many of the tips will have to do specifically with Korea because I am in Korea, but also many of these tips can be used if you're traveling anywhere else in the world. So in any case, we're going to take you around and show you what I'm eating here in Korea and what you should eat when you're traveling. So we're outside the E-Mart here in South Korea, and the E-Mart is like a Walmart, and they sell produce and they sell all kinds of things just like a Walmart would, and they have an organic section, and the E-Marts are all across the country. So we're gonna go inside and learn more about the organics and the basically the labeling and how you could identify organic produce here in Korea. So here in Korea it might be difficult to find organic produce, but I found the organic produce section. And these are the little symbols that mean organic. So you can see there's about 5 different symbols. They're all basically the same symbol, but the colors are a little bit different. So this one right here means it's like organic. So you want to look for this little like apple looking thing with the green bottom. If you see this little apple looking thing with the blue bottom, that means it's like pesticide free. And this one right here with the little apple with the orange on the bottom, that means they sprayed like a little bit of stuff on there. And then these two on this side are actually for like the meats products. So here's the organic section right here. So let's check out the cucumbers. So the cucumbers here, it says all natural, and it has that little apple symbol with the blue, and the blue means there's basically no sprays on this these cucumbers. So that's what I'm gonna get today. I'm gonna get some cucumbers. Next time I'm harvesting walnuts, man, appreciate this. Walnuts in the shell here, Korea. This many walnuts, $4.20. That's insane. So I'm here in the hotel, and let's check out what kind of food I got here in Korea. Man, so we got this really nice sprout salad here. That's delicious. There it is, that little sign there. That means it's organic. Probably can't see it on that one. Got some cucumbers. I think it was like 6 cucumbers for like $4. Actually, that was a pretty good deal. Once again, that's a symbol. That means it's organic. Got some jujubes, dried jujubes. Definitely not as good as the ones in California. These ones are natural. We got some organic broccoli. So once again, that's the organic symbol. Got a red bell pepper. Once again, that's organic. Here's another one. Basically mung bean sprouts. Don't often eat sprouts, but it was a nice water-rich, fairly inexpensive, and organic too. And these cherry tomatoes, definitely really good, nice and flavorful. They're grown in Korea here in a greenhouse. Once again, they got the organic symbol. So aside from all these vegetables, I definitely need some fruits to eat. So we got some melons. They look pretty good, and they were also grown in Korea. So when I travel, I love to eat local foods, and actually all these foods here were grown in Korea, not imported. Oh, but I did have some actually bananas earlier today that were imported because I was hungry and needed to eat very quickly in the car. Anyways, that's how you eat when you're traveling raw. You just want to eat like you're eating at home. Get the best quality food, the best fresh fruits and fresh vegetables, and you got to eat a lot of them. So unlike America, in Korea there's not a whole bunch of supermarkets. There's just street vendors selling stuff. So this is really cool. I mean, they got all these watermelons just stacked up, ready to buy. So this is what I've been eating here. I've just been buying fruit from the street vendors. I think these watermelons are domestically produced. The oranges, they're from California. I'll just wait till I get home if I want my citrus. The grapes are imported from Chile. Oh, you gotta try the Korean melons, they're from here. Oh, and these tomatoes are grown in the hothouse. Actually, they're really good. I've been living on a lot of tomatoes. And look at these strawberries, they look so perfect. It's about $5 for a little package, $4 for this package. But these ones aren't organic, so I really don't buy strawberries if they're not organic because they can be heavily sprayed. If I was gonna get something at this booth, I'd probably get the Korean melons because I just don't eat them too often, or the cherry tomatoes, or if the bananas were ripe and I was really starving bad, I get some bananas. So what I get, I just kind of assess the situation, like, okay, I could eat non-organic bananas, not too good. I'd rather have the Korean melons because I am in Korea and I don't eat those too often. Maybe I'll get some good ones here. Strawberries, sprayed way too much. Oranges, get back at home. Grapes, imported from Chile, not eating them. So the tomatoes. So that's what I'd eat actually if I had the choices here. In general, I don't eat non-organic watermelons, but if I felt like it, well then I'd eat one. So we're here in South Korea, and Shinsegae is a huge department store, actually the world's largest department store here in Busan, South Korea. And the best place I've found to buy organic produce is actually big stores. I guess they have special contracts with growers to grow organically for them. Otherwise, I haven't been able to find them on the street market. So visit a big store. Let's go inside the grocery store section of this store to check out the organic section. So here is the organic section in the store. They have an area next to the produce, and it has like a little special area, and there's a big sign, organic. So you can't miss it. They got all the organic greens and vegetables, and then to a lesser extent, they have organic fruits. So organic tomatoes, 450 grams. That's about 1 pound approximately. That's $4.40, not too bad. Bananas, I don't know how much it is, but it's $3.38 for one bag. Seems pretty good. Also, you could buy things like Korean melons. That's like 14 bucks for a bag. Tomatoes and kiwis as well. But what I'm gonna get today is this stuff right here, man. Korean soybean paste, 100%. So I think this is like natto. So that'll be pretty good. 100%. You gotta look at the back of the label. So the 100%. Some of these other ones have salt and some other stuff, but I can't read Korean, so I don't know what's in there, so I'm not getting it. So here are their selection of greens. They have all kinds of different greens. Actually, on the other side of this display, but I'm gonna get actually some cucumbers. It's $3.50 for a pack of 3. And they got all kinds of other organic stuff. You can get organic here in Korea, but it is hard to find. I recommend going to a large department or grocery store. So now we're gonna learn about what to eat if you get to eat at a buffet. So I have actually a free pass to eat at the breakfast buffet in this Lakeside Cafe here at the Hilton in South Korea. So let's go in and show you what I'm gonna eat. Now, once again, I only recommend eating at a restaurant if you're eating for free. Otherwise, it's far better to buy your own food and eat it yourself. So here's the buffet, and if you're raw, I definitely recommend you don't eat at buffets and you don't eat at restaurants. Why? Well, because especially in fancy hotels like this, the buffets can be really expensive. I mean, we are here in Korea, so they have things like watery kimchi and more kimchi, but the kimchi, it's not vegan. Then there's all these other things that might be all right to eat, but I have no idea what's in there, and I'm not even going to start to ask and get ingredients lists and find out if there's additives, find out if they made it here, and all that kind of stuff. And once again, there's all kinds of cooked stuff that you're not going to eat. I mean, basically, if you're raw, you're pretty much not going to eat probably like 95% or even more of the stuff that's at the buffet. But let's show you what you can eat and what I'm actually going to be eating today. So it is currently breakfast time, and I'm going to go for the fruit, but they do have some vegetables here. I guess some sprouts, some lettuce, and some tomatoes. So if I did want to eat some vegetables, I'd probably just eat all the sprouts in that bowl. And maybe a tomato or two. I probably just wouldn't get the lettuce. Of course, they have all the dressings that I wouldn't use, so I'd end up eating the lettuce plain. And here's all their fruit compotes out of a can. And those are not raw either. So next, we're gonna go for the fruit bar, and that's what I'm eating today. So what I'm gonna eat today is a fruit bar. You can see there, they have some cut up bananas, and that doesn't look like 30 bananas to me, so that probably wouldn't make a meal. They have some lychee. Lychee is definitely a delicious fruit, and if these were fresh, I'd probably eat all those in one sitting. But these are previously frozen, so I tried one, and although they're alright, I prefer to eat fresh because fresh is always bestest. In some cases, if they have a display of fruit, sometimes I'll just grab some of the fruit that's on display, the whole pieces, and cut them up myself. Because in some cases, there's just not enough fruit for me to eat. Let's see, they also have the pineapples and also the oranges. So today what I'm going to get is the pineapples, and what I'm going to look for when I'm picking my pineapples, I'm going to look for the dark pieces. So you can see here, these pineapples here are dark yellow and these are a light yellow. Light yellows will burn your tongue and you won't be able to eat that many. So you want to get the darker pieces. So I'm going to come here and clean out all the dark pieces because they're more ripe and they're not going to burn my tongue. So the other thing you might want to look into is a cereal bar, but it's not because you're going to be eating the cornflakes, because once again, those are not raw. Actually, those are, I don't know, anyways, some kind of stuff. But what they have here, besides the different cereals, are they have 2 bowls of nuts. That's definitely good. So they have the walnuts here, and they also have the sunflower seeds and pepitas, or Mexican pumpkin seeds. So between those 2 nuts, which one would you get? And you know, you could ask the people that work here, oh, are the sunflower seeds raw? Are the pepitas raw? But you know what? They might not just understand what you're saying unless you speak their native language. They won't understand why you want to know if it's raw or not, if it's roasted. All they know is they get out of a package, they pour it in here, and that's what you got. So I have seen roasted pepitas and roasted sunflower seeds, you know, and it's fairly common. I haven't often seen roasted walnuts. And also, so for that reason, I'm probably going to get a whole bunch of walnuts today and take some to go. The other way you'll want to know is you're going to want to, you know, if you don't know and you want to maybe try them, you can try a little like scooperful and try them and eat them. And you know, you may be able to taste the taste difference between a roasted and an unroasted nut. The roasted nuts have a much more intense flavor. You know, I was at a business luncheon the other day and they offered me almonds, and they looked raw to me, but I tried one and I was like, oh, these have been roasted, I don't need any more. Right, so let's go ahead and pick out the pineapple and I'm gonna chow down. So I'm sitting down, got my breakfast, here it is, a whole bunch of pineapple. This is already my second serving of pineapple. See there, I had the one lychee to try it out and determined it was definitely previously frozen, tasted good, but then I figured, should I get a whole bunch of lychee? Because I really only like to eat like mono meals. What mono meals is just like eating only one thing until you're full and satisfied. So the thing in my mind was, okay, the pineapple, if I eat too much unripe pineapple, I won't be able to eat as much as I would like because it's going to burn my mouth. You know, but if I eat the lychee, they're not fresh and not quite as vibrant because they have been frozen. And I recommend people always eat fresh food whenever possible because freshest is truly bestest. So, and then I got some, for fun, I got some sparkling water. And what I'm going to do, you know, you can take some pineapple, just dunk it in there and check it out, let it see it all fizz. So what'll happen is the pineapple essence will come out of the pineapple and then you have like a pineapple flavored sparkling water. You could also take like an orange and squeeze a little bit of orange juice in there too, make it a little bit more fun. All right, I'm gonna get back to eating. So I'm back from Korea and I'm really glad to be back in my front yard garden. Once again, I just love eating the fresh greens out of my garden. And also, I come back to a lot of strawberries that are now ripe. So that's definitely really cool. So to sum up and to give you guys some tips when you travel, and if you travel to Korea or any other country in the world, I mean, especially if you don't speak the language and don't have a translator, because then you won't be able to figure out, like, you know, what all the prepared foods are, and don't even try to bother asking. I mean, already if you eat raw or even vegan, Korea was not really either vegan friendly, you know, that much either. I mean, and I'm raw, so if you're vegan, you still might be out of luck. So the easiest thing to do is just eat fresh fruits and fresh vegetables. If you buy fresh fruits and fresh vegetables, guess what? You're gonna stay raw, and actually you're gonna eat healthier than you're probably eating at home when you have all the availability of, you know, prepared packaged raw foods. Even in Korea, I barely ate any kind of nuts or seeds because I don't know if those are roasted or raw or not. So, because I can't read Korean to tell unless, you know, so the thing to do also, what I did was I brought some dried foods with me. So some dried fruits, I brought some nuts, and I also brought some like kale chips and other dried granolas with me that lasted me probably a couple days into my trip. So that was definitely a savior for me. But otherwise, you know, just eat fruits and vegetables. I picked my own wild foods at some places where I was walking, you know, out in nature, and that was definitely a good thing as well. So Korea was a relatively inexpensive place to travel. I converted a total of 120 US dollars into the Korean won, and my best exchange rate was 1,050 Korean won for 1 US dollar. I think I probably spent about $20 in Subway or so, and so that leaves about $100 that I spent on food for the week while I was in Korea. So I bought a lot of organic, some non-organic, and as you saw in the video, I mean, that's pretty much what is available. So if you do want to eat organic and stick with your organic diet, you definitely will need to go to bigger stores, department stores that have grocery stores in the bottom level. That's actually kind of like Europe, or actually just bigger stores like the E-Mart, which is pretty much like a Walmart. They all have a smaller organic section. That being said, I didn't find a big variety of organic fruits, while they did have a much larger variety of organic greens, which was really nice. And oh yeah, if you like avocados, you better bring them to yourself to Korea, because I think only one store that I found had avocados, and they're like $4 each. So I'm like, you know what? I don't need to eat any avocados this trip. So once again, if you're traveling outside the country and you can't speak the language, to read package labels, to know what's in it, the best thing to do is always, just like you're at home, go to farms, harvest it yourself if you can, go to farmers markets, buy stuff as fresh as possible, and then go to health food stores or supermarkets and buy fresh fruits and fresh vegetables. And once again, fresh fruits and fresh vegetables should be the majority of your diet in any case. So once again, this is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. We'll see you next time, and keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables.